Good morning, guys. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe, staying healthy, doing anything you need to remain productive and motivated during this really weird time that we're in right now. We're kind of entering week two of the coronavirus sort of shutdown, slowdown, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. And I've been putting out a lot of new content on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't been following sort of my perspective, my best tips or advice for how to get through this thing, and not only get through it, but also thrive during this challenging time, I'm going to post a link in the description box to all the previous videos that I've been putting out. So you can also just go to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be putting out tons and tons of content. I'm going to try to do a new video every single day while we go through this, of uncertain period right now. And the reason why I'm doing that is number one, I know a lot of you guys might have a little bit more free time right now because you're not at work. You were temporarily laid off, or your work just sent you home. You're working remotely. So you just might have a few, some extra hours basically in the day. So I want to be able to provide some sort of useful, motivational, educational content for you to sink your teeth into, rather than people just getting glued into the news or just watching TV shows or just watching movies. This is a great opportunity for a lot of you guys to get something done. In fact, what we're going to start on Monday, I'll make a more formal announcement, is we're going to start another Sync 60 challenge. I was planning on doing it further into the springtime, but obviously we just need to do it now, right? We have the time. A lot of us have the resources right now to be able to do that. And this is going to be a really cool thing that we're all going to do. So I'm going to obviously focus it in Sync Academy, but I'm going to make it broadly available for everybody on my YouTube channel, or if you follow me on my podcast, anything like that. So if you are, in our community broadly, you'll be able to participate as well and follow along and get something really, really cool done. And if you don't get something done, you're going to regret it during these couple of weeks or maybe couple of months of this going on. So make sure you do, follow along and participate with us. So stay tuned on Monday. But this video, I want to talk about, I've gotten this question from many people. Is it a good idea to start submitting to libraries right now during the coronavirus shutdown? Are most libraries just kind of doors closed and not interested in doing any new work or bringing on new composers? It's a great question. So I obviously can't speak for every single library, and I think every library is going to have its own unique situation that they're in right now. Some are going to be more in, basically because they had to shut their offices. They're just right now, because we're basically barely into the situation. A lot of them they might be in the process of setting up their remote working operations. So they might have sent all their employees home, and they're trying to figure out how are we going to keep our business running when we're not all in the same building, because this might be a new thing for them. So for a library like that, you might need to give them a week or two to normalize, stabilize, figure out how they're going to do things before they start to even resume business as usual. But for a lot of libraries, I know many of them personally, they're already working remotely, or it's really just a one-man operation, maybe one or two people, but really it's just like the owner of the library is the entire company, and he or she is working from home or from their office or wherever they are. So they didn't really have to disrupt or change anything for their business to continue on. So the few libraries that I've actually talked to and reached out to about this, including my own, have let me know that they're just moving on business as usual. They're still looking for new music. They still want the opportunities to be coming in, or at least they want more albums and more music to be coming in from their composers. And I think a majority of them, vast majority of them, as long as they've kind of figured out how to start moving forward or continue moving forward with the situation, they're definitely going to be looking for new composers and new writers to bring on board. They're going to be stuck at home or stuck wherever they're at. And if you're bringing something that's licensable, useful, you've created a very personalized pitch for them. Again, you're not spamming them. Same rules apply as everything that I've always taught you guys. As long as you're doing those key critical things, they're going to entertain bringing you on board because it's all online. It's all through an email interaction. They can send you the contract through DigiSigner. You can sign it online, send it back to them. If they have consideration fees, they can direct deposit, they can PayPal you. You can do all of this stuff online. So I would say there's no reason why you shouldn't be continuing on pitching to the libraries that you want to. I will say during this time, because special circumstances are dictating this, give them a little more time than probably we usually would. So I've usually told you guys, give somebody a week or two to reply to your initial submission. If they don't get back to you, maybe send them one follow-up email that says, hey, I sent you something a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Here it is again. You send them the same email so they don't have to dig through their inbox. Are you interested in my music or not? Please let me know. Otherwise, I will need to go pitch this to another company. Maybe give everybody an extra week in all of those processes. So rather than 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And instead of that 1 week follow up, maybe you give them 2 weeks, something like that. So be a little bit more lenient with everybody. And this also includes, I want to make sure that you guys are aware on registrations right now. BMI, ASCAP, and libraries. Because of all of this, don't expect your tracks to get registered in like a week or 2 weeks. It might be taking a couple of months for your tracks to show up just because everybody is starting to have to, it's certainly BMI or ASCAP, because I know they obviously have these offices where their employees were coming to do a lot of this work, and most of them are going to be sent home, or a lot of them are going to be sent home, and so they're going to have to figure out how to do this. It's not, it's not a huge endeavor, but obviously there needs to be a little bit of an adjustment period where people kind of start to settle into the new normal, to just resume the normal practice. So I had a couple members asking like, well, I submitted something a couple, it was like 3 weeks ago, and it's not showing up. Should I be worried? Like right now, no. Like right now, just chill on all that kind of stuff. You will get your tracks, or you should just obviously be vigilant about that. Make sure they do show up. It's good that you're checking on that. But let's all be a little bit easy on each other, and let's be very, very patient through this process. Okay, so BMI, because of this, or ASCAP, they might be completely backlogged with a whole bunch of registrations that were coming in while this thing started to develop. And since they're in this process of, sort of restructuring how they're going to do business, there might be thousands of tracks that they have to now go digging back through to get registered onto their website. Same thing with libraries. They might be sort of putting out fires right now, figuring out what to do, how to restructure people, how to repurpose people that they've been working with. And so registering tracks might be like number 5 on their list. Okay, so they have other things that they need to be worrying about right now. So you can obviously reach out to your library if you're not seeing registrations and ask them, what's the situation? Can you give me an update? But also let them know, by the way, no rush on this. I know you guys probably have your hands full. I'm here to support you, and I'm here to make sure that I'm going to be a solution for you guys, or a help to you guys. I don't want to be a hindrance, and I certainly don't want to be a nagging annoyance to you guys. Okay, so ask them, what should I expect? That's probably the best question you can ask them. What should I expect in this period for when my tracks can show up? So that if they come back and say, you know what, we're really behind, and we've heard that BMI is behind, give us 2 months. Then you can set a little alarm or a little reminder on your calendar. Don't even worry about it for 2 months. After 2 months, double check, look in there, then you can reach out. So you're not constantly going to them every single week, and certainly not every single day. Where's my tracks? Where are my tracks? How come they're not showing up? Let's just take a breath right now. Things are going to slow down just a little bit for all the normal things we usually do, but we will pick up back in due time, okay? And of course, a really, really smart thing for everybody to do is, if you haven't reached out to the library that you've been working with, send them a little note, like right now, today. Ask them how they're doing. Are they okay? Are they safe? Wish them well, wish them and their family well. Ask them if there's anything you can do to help make their lives easier with their company right now. This is the time, as I said, it's a time of crisis. It's a time of a somewhat emergency, and obviously certainly a restructuring of everything. If you come to the table with good ideas, or you're just ready to be useful and helpful for people, this is where you level up in the world. This is where people see you as more of a team player. They see you more as a hero. They see you more as somebody that they can rely on. And this will cement your brand long after this situation is gone. Coronavirus is here and gone. It's going to be going away, okay? I think sooner than later. And when it's gone, you want to be remembered as the person that stepped in and asked people how they were doing, or you stepped in to offer to help them out with anything that might have made their lives easier. Because moving forward into the rest of the year, into the years beyond, your brand goes through the roof with your library partners and with the people that you're working with, okay? And this goes for your just professional life, your family life, your friends' life, everything. Right now is a huge opportunity for you to level up in your reputation, in your brand, how people perceive you, right? If you care about that, most of us should care about that. So take this opportunity and reach out and ask how people are doing, if you can help, if there's anything they need that you can possibly do for them, or if there's some skill you have, or some whatever, something you can do that you feel like actually might be useful for them, offer it to them. I know I was talking to my brother the other day, who he actually does a lot of music therapy gigs where he has to go to clients' houses to teach them, and of course that right now is cut out. So the company he works for, they didn't have a sort of Skype or a FaceTime alternative set up at all, and they just kind of assumed, well, if we can't meet with clients, we just, I guess we're just not going to do anything for 2 weeks. But my brother just said, hey, are you guys interested in maybe doing some FaceTime or some just, kind of webcam based tutoring sessions? No, it's not ideal, because obviously you should be there with the client to interact with them. But it's something. It'll give the parents basically at least 30 minutes or an hour of them being engaged, fully engaged with some sort of a musical lesson. So it's really useful. So he reached out to his employer and said, would this be something I can do for you guys? And they were like, oh yeah, let's give that a shot. So he just suggested it. They implemented it. Now they're using it. Okay, so sometimes you would think, oh, well, they must have thought about this. That's what a lot of people are assuming right now. Well, my employer or my library, they must have this all figured out. Like I shouldn't even. No, don't assume that. A lot of people might not be seeing some obvious solutions or some obvious things that can help them get through this period. So if you have a great idea, the worst thing you can do is keep that to yourself. That's very selfish, actually. You should be sharing those ideas, or at least suggesting them, or putting them out there into the world, putting them out there to your library partners or to other producers that you know, to help them in this time of how do we get through this, right? We need a lot of ideas coming. They're not all going to be great ideas, and all going to be ideas that we all implement. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be shared. They should absolutely be shared. So please don't be shy about that stuff, and please don't be shy about you wanting to reach out and help somebody or just offer a suggestion to get us through this really difficult time. So if you guys have any more questions about submitting to libraries, anything like that, you guys can always post below this video. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I possibly can. Stay tuned. Great videos coming up this week. And of course, if you're ready, start being productive. Monday, Sync 60 Challenge is starting. We already have a lot of enthusiasm in Sync Academy. Put up a poll the other day where actually I had 5 options. Are you ready for Sync 60 this Monday? And it was yes, 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 yes. Obviously, we're all ready. Okay, this is something that everybody can do. And if you can't do it, hopefully you can still at least follow along with some tutorials and get educated about something if you don't have a lot of time to be devoting to creating your own music right now. But certainly you should be coming out of the situation more educated, more prepared, and hopefully having a new skill under your belt, or maybe even a brand new album. How cool would that be? That the coronavirus was this sort of gift you weren't expecting that gave you the ability to have an entire 10 or 12 track album ready to submit to a music library by the end of it. That's what my hope is for all of you guys, that you don't waste, you don't squander this huge opportunity sitting in front of you. So I'm going to do all that I can to make sure you guys take advantage of it.